So my name is Tomasz, and I would like to talk about the future. But to talk about the future, let me first have a look at the past. So I've been to a few talks when the speaker started with saying, when I was 6 years old, I wrote my first computer program. And that's not the case for me. When I was 6 years old, my uncle bought a computer. And that was the first computer I've ever seen in my life. And immediately I knew computers are great. What made them great? Obviously, games. That's what we like. Let me show a few of my favorites. I really like animated movies, and Aladdin is a really nice game. I actually never finished it. It's just too difficult for me, but I still enjoy it. That one, I don't even have to introduce to you. There was a research in US which game is the most popular in terms of how many people can recognize the main character. Pac-Man scored 94%. It beat Mario by 1%. Very famous game. Now, the Dyna Blaster. If I want to play something old, I usually go for that one. You may know it as a Bomberman. With Prehistoric, it's a very funny game. And I was so excited when I figured out that you can actually walk inside the caves. My mind was blown. With this game, I had a lot of trouble to find it. I tried a couple of times, but for this talk, I decided I have to include it. I didn't expect it to be called just Bow and Arrow. It was created by one developer for Windows 3.1. And Raptor, it's not only a great game, but as well my favorite soundtrack. So I wanted to have a computer, but my parents couldn't afford it. So I started saving money. After 7 years, my dad found a used computer, but it cost double what I saved. So he paid the other half, and he brought it home. I spent 5 hours trying to figure out what different applications did on Windows. Even using the calculator and Paint was exciting. A month after that, I rushed home from school because I wanted to play games before my parents returned home. And I pressed the power button, and I smelled something weird. That happened. Well, not exactly that, but the CPU, memory, hard drive, and the graphic card were all gone. I was petrified. But my dad bought some components, replaced what was broken, so it was all fine. But I still had one problem. I really wanted to write some code. That's what you do with computers. But I really didn't know where to start. I didn't have anybody to ask. I didn't have the internet. So what do you do? So that's the fact number one. There are children who would like to learn how to code, but they just don't know where to start. I don't know if you are familiar. In UK, there is the Southwest Coast Path. It's about 630 miles long, and it's mostly walking on the cliffs. So last summer, I walked from Ilfracombe to Padstow, and it's over 100 miles. It took me 12 days. The views are amazing. If you don't know where to go for holiday, I highly recommend this place. But I like hiking with a tent. So I have a tent, I have a sleeping bag, all the other stuff, plenty of water. It quickly adds up to a massive backpack. It was about 15 kilograms. So while it was a great experience, some days were very difficult. Thankfully, I met a lot of very nice people. I asked them for direction to the campsites. Sometimes the campsite was far from the path, so they even offered me a lift. And that happened one day. It was a very long walk for me. It was after 6 p.m. I was very tired. I walked into one very small village, and I asked some people on the car park if they know about any shop. They said, there is none here. Well, that wasn't very nice. I still had a few slices of bread, but the evening didn't look very good for me. But they offered me a lift to the campsite, and when we arrived there, they asked me if I would like a banana, which I said yes, because when you don't have a lot of food, anything would be great. And that's what they gave me. I was so grateful at this point. But I walked to the campsite. I saw some people there, and I asked them, where is the nearest shop? Because I still wanted to buy something. And they said, oh, the nearest one is a few miles from here. but we are walking there, so we can buy something for you. I asked them for a can of tuna. That's what I wanted. They returned after that and gave me as a gift a can of tuna and my first ever Scotch egg. Later, I spent evening playing board games with them. And I met plenty of different people who offered me a tea. I walked to different people and asked them to charge my phone. One guy, when he heard that I asked people to charge my phone, he thought that I lost my charger, so he walked to me and said, "Oh, take mine with you." I just explained that I didn't take it from home because I wouldn't expect I would charge my phone like wild areas. So the fact number 2, there are individuals who like to help others. They didn't receive anything from me in return. I will never meet them again, and they still wanted to help me. Now, we are all here on NDC, and there are plenty of other conferences. You often spend time learning new frameworks, libraries. You look for different tools. And why do you do that? I think you all know what I mean. Learning something new feels great. That's this nice feeling. So if we look at all those 3 things, we have children who really want to learn coding. We know that it's a very nice experience. And there are individuals who like to help others. So that leads me to the main part of the presentation. I'm not from the CoderDojo Foundation, but I am a volunteer, and I organize monthly sessions. So what do? We teach children coding, and they have the opportunity to meet real software developers. The computers and writing code is no longer a dark magic for them. Quite often, it's the only way for them to learn. If they don't have anybody in their family who can help them, that's a great opportunity. So that's one of the pictures from our events. What we mostly use is Scratch, Python, JavaScript, but you can do a lot more. There are plenty of tutorials available online, so it's very easy to just get started. Let me now show you Scratch, because with normal programming languages, that's what all their children want to do. But when they are younger, they still can't read that fluently. It's better to start with something very, very simple. So just hopefully I can come. So one of the first exercises which we do is with the game where you are a shark and you have to catch as many fishes as you can. So you can see here the code for a shark. It's not much. There are just some blocks which let you control what to do when you press a different button. So if I try to move on the screen, you can see that the shark will start moving. Now, if I go here, there is as well a fish. And the fish has a bit more code. So you can see a for loop. There is a wait. The fish will turn, will move. There is some if statements. So children can learn the basic of coding. It doesn't have to type in a lot of stuff to get something done, which is very, very nice. So if I press the flag now, you can see that the fish will move in different directions. And we have working games right now. So it's something that will be exciting for children. You can see as well the score will change. And obviously, this game is not perfect. So what I can do, I can try to catch a fish with my tail. But that's not really a problem. It's just about learning how those things work. So now you can do something else as well. Why not build Pac-Man? So now think, how much time would you need to create Pac-Man in your language of choice? That's a massive task. Well, it took me about half an hour to do that one. So what we can see here, there is quite a bit of code for a Pac-Man. Even the teleport is working like in the normal Pac-Man game. We can go here and just look at the Ghost code. Ghost will just move in the hard-coded locations. But that's not a problem. To just play a simple game, they can later improve on that. So if I press a flag, you can see I'm touching the wall, so it will not move any further. And then I can go and teleport to the other side of the screen. Let's now try to catch the ghost. So yes, we have full working game, which is obviously very exciting for children. Now, for older one, we go into Python. And with Python, you can actually build something similar. So while console applications is what we usually do when we want to test something, for children it's better when they can see something on the screen. So I can show you now, there's a turtle race. So they learn about writing loops in Python to draw all those lines. Then they create 4 turtles, and all of them, every step will pick a random distance, and they will move. So they can look which turtle will be the winner. So yeah, we have the green one. And based on this knowledge, they can later do different tasks. They can, for example, draw a snowflake. Or if they want something more interesting, they can draw some very nice pictures. So you can see some loops. It will change colors over time. It will move to a different position. So it's all the basic understanding how it all works. And because it's all in the web browser, they don't have to install anything. They can go home, play with it. So it's very, very simple. So I highly recommend, if you have time and would like to help, there are plenty of opportunities to volunteer. If you look at this website, we are in London, so I will look for something here. So yeah, there are plenty of different options. There are some libraries who organize it. There is a science museum, some different companies. And then one of them is that one. We have next meeting in 2 weeks. So if you are around and would just like to come and see how it all works, you are very welcome. Thank you very much.